Poland. We also saw something similar back in the 40s and 50s when this completely alien ideological system came to us, and naturally the armed forces was one of those institutions that it infected and took over naturally due to the fact that the Red Army was stationed in our country, and nothing could happen here that wasn't okayed in Moscow first. And naturally, for many Polish soldiers, it was a difficult choice that they had to make, because many of them often came from military families with long traditions, and their parents, grandparents, and so on had been serving in the military, and now these people had a choice that they had to make. Did they consider the Polish People's Republic and its armed forces a legitimate representative of the Polish nation, or was this something alien? Many felt that, of course, I would prefer for my state not to be a satellite state of the Soviet Union, and for communism to not be the ideology. But at the same time, if there is some revanchist German, whether East Germany or West Germany, but for those people that was naturally still one of the main issues, that they thought that there could be some form of return of German revanchinism or new imperial ideas. They still had to serve in some form of Polish military service, and that was the only one available. So.
Yes, that's an interesting question, because Enoch Powell, a very well-known British politician, had this, and he, of course, had joined the Second War as an enlisted man, and advanced to the rank of brigadier. And he had this, Mrs. Thatcher said, "Oh, but Enoch, you wouldn't have fought for England if it had been a communist country." And he said, "But Margaret, yes, I would, because you fight for, when it was, king and country, you don't fight for something else."
Yeah.
So he was saying that as a soldier, you fight for the country you fight for, and that the political considerations are in fact secondary and not irrelevant. And I think it was the case, was it not, that the Red Army didn't quite trust the Polish army anyway. That a lot of the really heavy weaponry was denied the Polish army, was kept under Russian control in case the Polish army turned round and used it on the Russians.
Absolutely, and also in the first years after the Second World War, the top commanders, and especially the commander in chief, they were all Soviet citizens that had been settled in Poland, and some of them with time also acquired Polish citizenship. Some of them actually never left. Some of them still now they aren't alive anymore, but their children and grandchildren are still here, and this is not something that they would speak about very openly. Naturally, the vast majority of them left, most of them even after the death of Stalin in 53, or with the process of de-Stalinization starting with the Khrushchev thaw in 1956. But some stayed behind, and many of them, they lived for many years in those areas that in Poland are known as the recovered territories, of which some actually are recovered, that used to belong to the Polish state before, but others were never really part of Poland before, and in many of those places you had vast Soviet military bases where you had these Russian servicemen stationed. So in some places in Western Poland, unless they have moved internally, then probably you would have more of them. But this was a loyalty issue, and whether you could serve in the Polish state was also something that could be seen on the spying front. In the 80s, you had this Colonel Kuklinski, Richard Kuklinski, who decided to pass on military intelligence to the Americans, and he thought that since Poland is under communism now, and there is a threat of a nuclear war, then we should help the Americans, and he believed that this could also prevent nuclear war from breaking out. That simply American supremacy would be so vast that there would be no nuclear war. But then there were other people in the Polish People's Republic who were of a different opinion, and they claimed that no matter how he justified it, it was treason. Personally, I lean more toward the version that Kuklinski, after all, was on the right side of history here, but it's certainly not a topic in which 100% of Polish society has a unified position on. So this is a debate that will continue for a long time.
Adam, sorry, as usual, the clock. I'll have to ask you to pause there, but we'll pick it up next time. There we are. I've interrupted Adam almost in mid-sentence, but fear not. We'll pick it up next time on Poland Daily History, and when we hope you'll be with us to continue our discussion on the military in Polish and British history. Thank you for watching.